to Mad Marketing TV. This is the after party portion of the show with our guest, Paul Dunay. So Paul, good to have you back here.
Great to be back. Thanks so much, Jeff.
So I know you've been at this new company for a short amount of time. Tell me a little bit more about your experience of wearing all the hats and kind of what has been your biggest surprise in working for a smaller company?
Well, I've worked for a smaller company before, right? But it's been, it's got to be 10 years. And you kind of forget exactly, everything that you're supposed to know is just, if you need paper clips at an event, I mean, you're the guy and it's all falling on your shoulders, right? So it's pretty crazy. Right. But, luckily I was able to hire a few key hires and create a good team. So I've got a nice team around us. It doesn't mean we work any less, still means we work, 16-hour days or if not more. So we're constantly cranking, but I've had to relearn a lot of things that, I haven't done in a long time. As I mentioned before, like SEO and SEM, I was experimenting with that in the early days. As you know, I like to experiment with stuff that's on the leading edge. And then as that's gotten, fully baked into the marketplace at this point, you really have to think about that strategy. It could really be a monetary drain on your budget if you're not managing it really closely. So, it's something that you've got to keep a good eye on. So, had to relearn some stuff, but it's been a fun ride. You say for a short period of time, feels like in dog years, right? I've been there for a year, so it feels like, 3-4 years at this point.
Let's talk a little bit about content. What are your thoughts about really knowing your buyers and creating some really interesting content? How do you think that people can start to create engaging content as opposed to just blasting out product information?
So there's a couple of things you've wrapped in there, right? So one was buyer personas, right? I heard that at the beginning of your sentence, right? So buyer personas, I went out, I did 6 different interviews with 6 different buyers. And I got to know what do they read, where do they read it, how do they read it, what are their favorite publications, what shows do they go to, as in, what events would they never go to. I did a whole deep dive on this. And the commonality across a lot of the buyers for Networked Insights was stunning, right? I mean, these are very digital people. They like to consume, they like to snack on media. The frequency with which you'd want to be in the media is much higher than, let's say, at any other firm that I've worked for before. So that puts a pretty strong lead on content and how much content you can create and how often you can be in the media with this particular content, right? So luckily, it's an embarrassment of riches in the sense of being at an analytics firm, you've got, analysis all over the place. That's what you guys do, right? And at different clients, and if there's anything that you're able to bubble up, I got lucky enough to get an analyst onto my team full time so that, we're constantly looking every day for something that we can analyze and talk about and place out in the media. So that's how I approach engaging content. I know it's different for every B2B firm. But I would definitely consider, the days of just creating a single white paper, those are long gone, right? And you need to create a stream of content from that one asset. So if it's 4 blog posts from that one particular white paper, plus a short video like this, or plus an engaging interview and a bylined article, and putting that all out in a drip fashion, I mean, there you could have a good steady stream of engaging content.
Yeah, that's a good point. And someone who's written 4 white papers, I agree with you of marketing it and creating additional content, reimagining the white paper into different forms, doing a narrated SlideShare presentation about it and then embedding that in a blog post. There's just so many things you can do.
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, the tools are out there, so it's just a matter of how creative you want to be and how many of these tools you can use and string together at one time.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, Paul. Let me ask you a different question, because you've written some books, and you and I had lunch recently, and you kind of talked about the experience of writing books. Perhaps some people watching the show are saying, I'd love to write a book someday. To that person, can you tell them what it's like to be an author?
The first thing that comes to mind is don't do it. You know, if you can avoid it, don't do it. But I think at the beginning, you know, it always looks like a wonderful thing, and it is, and it is. It's a great experience, and I'm really pleased that I did it. There becomes a point of no return, right? Like, how many books could you have written? I mean, you know, you mentioned that I did 5. I have done 5. You know, what does it mean to have 6 or 7 or 8? It doesn't get you that incremental value. So, you know, what I was telling you over lunch, and I'll tell the audience, is, you know, I'm hanging up my hat, at least for now, in that particular department, to concentrate on, you know, some very interesting things that are going on in the social space and with Networked Insights that I'm really super excited about, and just want to be able to focus on it. I mean, updating books, you know, it's great. You know, it's not going to buy me any new houses or anything like that. It's certainly a much more of an awareness generator, and it's done a great job of that. So I'm pleased with it.
Yeah, I think it certainly builds a lot of credibility and gets your name out there. It's not going to say, buy you a new house. It just doesn't generate that kind of money. So, Paul, you know, I appreciate you coming on the show. I know you're very busy, and it's a great guest on the show.
Oh, you bet, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me, and go Mad Marketing TV.
All right, thanks.